I'm Glenn Blair. Welcome to A Geezer's Perspective. Odd things that pop into my head that for some reason I feel compelled to share. At a recent holiday party, the conversation turned to disappointing Christmas memories. I didn't really have any. We were a small family living fairly close together, so there were no travel horror stories, no crazy relatives, or anything significant to spoil our celebrations. We were lucky, because that certainly wasn't true for everybody else in the conversation, I can assure you. For me as a kid, the time leading up to Christmas morning was a really big deal. I loved it all. Listening to Christmas songs on the radio, wandering through the beautifully decorated department stores, and most of all, the heightened excitement of counting down the days until Christmas morning and our gifts. My sister and I begged every year to open gifts on Christmas Eve, but that never happened. We couldn't get to sleep, and when we finally did, we'd be up at 4:30 in the morning. Well, Mom helped solve that problem by hanging Christmas stockings on the fireplace. We could open them whenever we wanted and then go back to bed. The stockings were mostly filled with oranges, candy, walnuts for some reason, and then one really good small gift buried at the bottom at the toe. And that was enough to tide us over, and we'd reappear at a more reasonable hour. We didn't spend much on Christmas gifts. Each of us generally got 3, and we took turns opening them, one gift at a time, so we could all share in each other's good fortune. The tradition stayed the same until I brought my new wife home for her first Christmas with my family. After we had opened our gifts in the traditional Blair manner, my wife in a quiet moment said to me, "Your dad has no idea what's going on, does he?" She was right. All of his gifts to others had been purchased by my mom. When it was Mom's turn for a gift, since I was usually the one coordinating, ensuring no one went out of order or opened their gift too soon, I'd hand her a package and say, "Here you go, Mom, a gift from Dad." She'd open it and gush, "Oh, it's just perfect, just what I wanted." Of course it was. She had bought and wrapped it herself. Dad had no idea what was in the package, but he'd smile and say, "I'm glad you like it." Her gifts were often the only ones that were exactly what anyone wanted or fit. Later during that visit, my wife and Mom, who got along wonderfully and thought alike, came up with a brilliant new approach for our next Christmas. A major and novel change. Everyone bought and wrapped their own gifts. Still 3 each, open in order. The result? Well, except for the gifts you bought and wrapped for yourself, they were all surprises, with one big difference. They were exactly what each of us wanted. Right size, right color, no returns, no faked expressions of appreciation, no Barbra Streisand albums to me from my sister. But what about Dad? Dad's gifts to himself. Well, of course, Mom got those for him and wrapped them. But that was fine. She knew what Dad wanted far better than he did. Everyone was happy. Holiday traditions generally are formed over the years from generation to generation, and I'm not suggesting that anyone should follow the new Blair tradition. But it's something to think about. Even the best of things can be tweaked a little bit sometimes.